Money Talks, number 24, Park Street is a big expensive house. Old Mr. Anthony Rockwell lives there. He worked for many years and now he has a lot of money. He is old and he doesn't work. A man drives his car for him. A woman makes his food. A boy brings the newspaper to him. Mr. Rockwell sits in his big chair and smiles. He is a happy man. Mr. Rockwell calls his son. Richard, come here, I want to talk to you. Mr. Rockwell's son comes in and sits down. He is a quiet young man of 21. Yes, father. Richard, the men on this street are gentlemen. They come from good families and have a lot of money. We aren't a famous old family, but we have a lot of money. My money makes you a gentleman too. Money can open a lot of doors for you, Mr. Rockwell says with a smile. It can open some doors, father, but not every door, Richard says. My son, don't say that. We have no problems. Ask people on the street. Ask your friends. What door doesn't open with money, Mr. Rockwell asks. Money can't buy a piece at the table of the right people, Richard says. You are wrong, young man, his father says, and he looks into his son's eyes. Son, the families of these men didn't always have a lot of money. They know about work. You make a lot of money with a lot of work. Richard is quiet. Son, what is the problem? Are you sick? What is wrong? You can talk to me, Mr. Rockwell says. Father, I am not sick. I have a good home, an interesting job, and a smart old father. But what's her name? Mr. Rockwell asks. Oh, father, she is beautiful and very special. Her name is Ellen Landry. She is the only woman for me, Richard says. Talk to her, dance with her, walk in the rain with her. She is going to love you too, his father says. You are a good young man, you are special too. But she is always with people, Richard says. I never have any time with her. She never has time for me. Richard, take some money and buy some time with her. Talk to her about your love. The old man says. I can't, Richard says. She is going to Europe by boat tomorrow morning. She is going to stay there for 2 years. This evening I am going to take her to the theater, but it's a very short drive. I am not going to have much time with her, and you can't buy her time. Okay, Richard, now I understand. Your love for her is very strong, but she doesn't know about it. That is your problem, Mr. Rockwell says. She can know because there isn't time, Richard says. He is very unhappy. Your money can talk to her. At 8 o'clock in the evening, Richard goes to the beautiful young woman's house. Good evening, Richard. Mrs. Lancy says. Mother and father are waiting for us at the theater. I don't want to be late. To Wallach's theater, please, Richard says to the driver. But at 34th Street the car stops. What's wrong? Richard asks. I'm sorry, Mr. Rockwell, the driver says. There are cars to the left, to the right, and behind us. We can't move. Every car in the New York is sitting here. Oh, Richard, are we going to be late? Miss Lanty asks. I'm very sorry, no theater for us this evening, Richard says. That is okay. I don't like theater very much. I am happy he in the car with you, Miss Lantry says. Are you? Richard asks with a smile. Later the same evening, Richard walks into his father's office. The old man is reading his newspaper. Father, Richard says, Miss Lantry and I are in love. Very good, Richard. I am happy for you, his father says. We talk it and talk it. She loves me. You see, money can't buy love, Richard says. Then the happy young man goes to bed. But let's finish his story. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Mr. Kelly comes to the door of Mr. Rockwell's house. Good morning, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Rockwell says. You did a good job yesterday evening. Here is your thousand. It was difficult, Mr. Rockwell. The drivers of the cars wanted $10 and the policeman wanted 50. But cars stopped for us on every street. Did it all go well? Mr. Kelly asks. Well, yes, it was beautiful. Let's drink to love and to money. Sappy's winter home. Sappy lives in the street of New York. He likes the sun and the trees. He doesn't like buildings or houses or jobs. For 9 months of the year, Sappy is a happy man. Then the first week of December comes. At night, Sappy puts on his old coat and hat and he puts 3 newspapers under him. But he is cold and he can't sleep. He gets up and he walks up and down the streets. He can't live on the streets all winter. But Sappy has a plan. He has the same plan every December. He is going to do a bad thing. Not a very bad thing, but a policeman is going to put him in jail for 3 months for this thing. Then Soapy is going to have food and a bed for the winter. In March, he is going to finish his time in jail. He is going to be in the street of New York again for 9 beautiful months. Soap think about his plan. He is going to visit a very smart restaurant. First he is going to eat some expensive food and then he is going to sit in the bar with an expensive drink. After his food and drink, Soapy is going to say, I'm sorry, but I don't have any money. Then the men at the restaurant are going to make a telephone call. A policeman is going to come and put Soapy in jail for 3 months. No cold streets for the winter. Soapy smiles and walks into Sanborn's restaurant, but the man at the door looks at the Soapy's old shoes and say, you can't come in here. The people in here have money. They have good coats and shoes. Go home. You can't eat here. Soapy sits down and thinks about his plan again. This time he walks down 6th Street. He finds an expensive store with a big window. He hits the window with a heavy bottle. Many people and one policeman hear the noise and run to the store. Soapy stands near the window and smiles. Who did this? The policeman asks. Where is the man? Maybe I am that man, Soapy says with a friendly smile. You aren't the man. Look, down there, a man is running away, the policeman says. He runs after the man. No jail for Soapy this afternoon. That evening Soapy walks to a street with many theaters. He sees a lot of beautiful men and women in expensive coats and dresses. They are talking and smiling. They are going to have a good time in the theaters and restaurants. Near one theater, Soapy sees a tall policeman too. Suddenly Soapy runs in front of the people and starts to dance. Then he makes a lot of noise. He is very friendly. He talks to the important people. Hello, how are you, my friends? What are you going to see this evening? Can I come to the theater with you? The policeman sees Soapy. He looks at him and says to the people, he is a student from the theater school. They always make a lot of noise, but they aren't a problem. It's a game for them. Soapy is angry and very unhappy. How can he get into jail for the winter? He walks down the street and sees a man in a big office. The man's pen is on table near a window. Soapy puts his hand in the window and takes the pen. He walks slowly down the street. The man runs into the street and says, Stop, you have many pen. Your pen, Soapy says, ask. Then call a policeman. But the man from the office doesn't call a policeman. He has problems with the police too. He doesn't want to talk to a policeman. Maybe it's your pen, the man says to Soapy. Goodbye. Soapy is going to sleep on the street again today. He sits down and makes a new plan. Maybe he can get a job. Maybe he can have some money and apartment and good shoes and a lot of food. Maybe he is too old for the street. Tomorrow he is going to find a job. This winter he isn't going to be cold and he isn't going to be in jail. He is going to be an important man. He is happy with his new plan. Then Soapy hears a person near him. "Excuse me," a policeman says. "What are you doing here? What is your problem?" "No problem, my good man," Soapy says. "What is your address? Where do you work?" the policeman asks. "No address, no job, but I am going to look for a job tomorrow," Soapy says. "No address, come with me. 3 months in jail for you," the policeman says.